All right, Goonies, I got a special video for you guys today. I will be interviewing Ocho, who is the PUBG Mobile Global Community Manager. And we're going to be talking about Metro today, all things Metro. With that being said, Ocho, how are you doing?
I am doing great, Goon. How are you doing today?
Can't complain, Ocho. Can you briefly tell my viewers what it is you do at PUBG Mobile?
So officially my title is something like Senior Global Community Manager. I am based in the US out of the North American publishing team. I work at 10 site offices here in the United States. But I work very closely with the dev team, all the operations teams, customer service team. Really my role is for the English-speaking community to be the point of communication. So I run all the social channels. I make sure that the Discord is running well and it's supported. I make sure that we have people talking to you guys on Reddit, and I always try and help out our influencers and support them by getting them support on our social channels, because I love watching some great PUBG Mobile content, and I want to say thank you to the guys like Goon who are out there creating it.
Oh, totally. You are always there if we need you, Ocho, and we do appreciate you so much. So, guys, now that you kind of understand his job, and this man is busy, trust me, I am very thankful that he took the time to talk to us today. He is a man of many talents, and he has many jobs, as you can imagine, based on what he just said. With that being said, Ocho, we just had a vote recently for some older game modes, and of course I mentioned Metro, which is very near and dear to my heart. And I would like to ask you some questions from my viewers and the community, the PUBG Mobile / Metro community, and hopefully you'll be able to kind of go into those. I know NDA is going to prevent some of the answers, but if you could, answer what you can, amigo. With that being said, let's get into one of the first questions here.
Fire away.
And I don't have any particular order as to the questions. I'm just going to read them straight off. And this one right here comes from Curtis Whitkind. I probably murdered that name. And he says, I want to know if out of the map glitch was on purpose or if it was actually a glitch. Also, how are they going to fix the speed glitch issue, which that's totally another one. And are they going to get rid of the exoskeleton, or have they figured it out? Now, that's a lot in one. This man asked like a bunch in one question. So first, let's cover the map glitch, because there's another one. Michael Kennedy hits up and says, are they going to put an instant death zone on the edge of the map glitch, or glitching out of the map? Are they going to make you insta die? Like, that's basically running into Curtis's. So I figured you could answer that question and the other one together.
So this is actually like a really interesting question, right? Because really it goes into what is a map, right? Mm-hmm. And so, the map, when we experience it in the game, appears to be terrain and it's hills. But if anybody has ever seen or accidentally gotten out of the map, it's sort of just this little paper thin shell that is, covered in a set of textures that looks like terrain to us, right?
Right.
And this is a really, really difficult thing because it's all described in really, really complicated math. It's the kind of thing that really just hurts my brain to think about, and that's why I'm a community manager and not an engineer.
Right.
But, so we always say, oh, okay, well, you should be able to tell when somebody's outside the map. But to a computer, it's all the map. The area underneath is the map. The area on top is the map.
Right.
It can't tell the difference. Mm-hmm. Right? So setting up death zones is really hard. You have to go through and do all this really complicated math and try and match it exactly. Right? And exactly how it's rendered, because how it's described in the math is not necessarily exactly the same on every single rendering device, because every device has different instructions and they all need to render things slightly differently. Wow. So if you start creating these zones of death, what happens is a lot of times, according to the math, it'll look like it should match up perfectly. But in reality, there's little death zones sticking out through the ground, and you run across and you trip them and it kills you, right?
Right.
So it's not a simple thing to do.
Right. I agree with that. And you don't want to lose your gear to yet another glitch. And basically what you're saying is, by trying to do the instant death zone, you could possibly create another problem.
Exactly, right? Every solution has a problem. And, again, this is the sort of thing we don't think about because we're just playing on the match.
Mm-hmm.
All these matches require computing power to run, right? And so adding features like constantly searching to see if anybody is in the zone of death to kill them actually causes performance cost, right?
Right.
And so we can't do anything that's going to create a performance hit because you guys do not want a map that performs badly, right?
Right.
And so on our side, we have to make sure it performs well. On your side, we have to make sure it looks great, that nobody's accidentally getting killed because they ran through a spot in the map that doesn't match up exactly the way it should. And so there's no simple answer, right? We'd love to have simple answers.
Right.
A lot of times what the devs are doing is just blocking things with other objects behind the skin so that you can't clip through, right? That's the easy way of fixing these problems.
Right.
And, that is by far the best way because it has almost no cost. These objects don't even have to have appearances. They can just be something defined in map that has no texture.
Right.
Everybody's run into invisible walls before, right? And that's the sort of thing the devs can add.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a much more elegant solution than the more complicated solutions, but it requires devs going through and finding each area where somebody can break through.
Right.
And, getting it. And the devs are always working on this sort of stuff, right? When PUBG Mobile first came out, there were places you could get out of the map. Every so often, somebody finds a new one. I remember probably about a year ago, somebody figured out they could clip into a vehicle that was on a bridge and ambush people crossing the bridge.
Wow.
And we just have to go through and smash them.
Man, there was always some type of hole or glitch people would find. Now, you pretty much answered that and understand that. And that sounds reasonable. And to be honest with you, the out of the map glitch never bothered me that much because honestly, it just became something you had to look for. You just always, when you went to Rad Zone, you had to know people were going to be up there probably, and you had a certain amount of time before they got there. So if you could just rush on in and get to the main building, take the loot, a lot of times you'd have a flare gun, possibly get out of there or try to get back to the tunnels. Now, so that wasn't a big problem, but the glitch that's the biggest problem, and you already know this, I probably don't even have to tell you, but it's part of his questioning, and it's the speed glitch issue. That affected, my performance as a creator and other people's performance as players greatly. And it has reared its ugly head in the beta. And I know me and you have talked about this many times. Is there in fact a workable solution to this problem?
So I always remain hopeful. As soon as you forward me information,
right,
I pass it on to the dev team. I know you forwarded it to other teammates of mine. Yes. I don't know their public-facing names, so I'm not going to reference them. We communicated to the dev team, and the dev team takes it seriously, right?
Right.
When Metro first came out, they were asking us almost on a daily basis, is there anything new? Is there anything new? They want to smash this. They want you guys to have a good time.
Right.
This is something they poured their heart and soul into. They created this because they loved this idea, right? They wanted to create Metro. It wasn't like I was like, oh, hey, you know what the PUBG players would really like? No, they came up with it and they're like, I think this would be amazing.
It is amazing.
We want to build this experience in PUBG Mobile. So, they love fixing things. They hate bugs. Imagine this thing you worked on for months and months and months, has a bug that destroys people's experience.
Right.
So people they're prioritized to fix these bugs. But
Right.
the reality is that every piece of software has bugs. And
Right.
so I think we can get it fixed, but it may find its way out in another way, right?
Right.
And so we can fix it, and we hope we've got it all, but there's no way of ever being 100% sure, which is why I always want to hear from the community, right?
Well, I think there
yeah.
is. I think there is. If you removed exoskeletons, I think that would pretty much take that glitch out. But the question is, would that be on the table if this becomes a reoccurring problem?
So if we remove exoskeletons, it will still exist. We also have to remove all the code. It will still exist in potential. We also have to remove all the code that exoskeletons are tied into.
Mm.
And that's a lot more complicated, right? Because everything is tied together. And so, again, people are like, oh, this seems like it would be an easy solution. Just get rid of exoskeletons. That's just like hitting the delete key, right?
Right.
And everything might break, right?
Yeah,
that is a high-risk thing.
Yeah, it's also tied into talents too, right? I mean, the talents, you got speed enhancement and talents as well. I didn't think about that until you just said that. So I guess that would be one of the things it would bleed into, I guess.
Yeah, so again, it becomes much more complicated. The goal is to fix the way that people can trigger this unintended effect.
Right.
Right? Not to remove features of the game because people abuse them. The other thing that's very, very different now than when Metro was first released is we have, let's see, it's been, about a year? Not quite a year.
Talking about the review system?
No, the Metro, since Metro was released. Metro came out.
It's been a year. It's been a year since it's been taken down, right? It was April 17th when that announcement was made that it was leaving.
You have that date.
Yes. I was scarred, the day it was announced. It scarred me mentally, so,
Yeah. So we've really built up the customer service team, right? We have much stricter, observation. The customer service team is much more aggressive now in taking care of people who abuse aspects of the game.
So could the review, right? Could the peer review system actually combat speed glitching?
So it could. I don't know how well it will work with Metro or if it will work with Metro because, again, this is like a whole other code layer that needs to be integrated.
Well, yeah, but once they see the video of somebody moving like he's like on steroids or something, I mean, dude, it's you can't mistake it. I mean, they move really fast. So, like, it's unmistakable. Now, whether it's not a hack, it's a glitch. But, like, will there be a punishment for that if, in fact, it does get sent to the peer review system? Will there be, like, a 3-day ban or something like that until people stop even trying to do it?
So I can't talk about actual penalties, right? Because that's one of those things we keep private. But it's worse than a slap on the hand, I'll tell you that.
I got you. Okay, that sounds good. That means there's a plan. I love it. You made me happy right there. All right, Goonies, for the interest of time, we're going to stop the interview with Ocho right here, and we're gonna just cap it off right here. But I've got a ton more interview with Ocho. I'll put in the link in the description down below. So if you want to continue hearing the rest of these questions submitted by you guys, just click on that link down below, and you can hear the rest of the interview. With that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you did like it indeed, do the YouTube thing and smash like, subscribe to the channel, and prepare for more PUBG Mobile / Metro Royale content.